morning, YouTube. We are back. I guess it is morning. What is it? Afternoon for both of you guys. You guys are both Eastern, so we're in that morning afternoon spot here today. A little special past the prop time. How are you guys doing? We'll start off with you, Monotone. It's been I think we only did a space this week. We didn't go to face. We did a little space. Those things are kind of popping. I'm not gonna lie.
They're fun. You can get a whole bunch of people in there. You don't have to go through the logistics of getting a guest. You just say, hey, hop in the spaces. We're all hanging out. I think it went very well. I had a great day that day. I know you cashed at least a couple. I remember cashing that Brunson one with you. So good day. Now we've got college basketball. It'll be a fun day. I love when the sports kind of intersect. We've got a lot of stuff to bet on today.
Yeah, how about you, Vmoney?
I'm doing well, man. We went 2-2 yesterday on our stream. My Wi-Fi is looking better today. My bets should be looking better today. So it's a good day, man. It's Friday. Let's get cash some tickets today, guys.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at these, we've got like two actual looking Sweet 16 games where the spreads are normal, and then we have a 8 and what's the other one? 13.5 now.
So 13 and 7, they're both coming down or moving up.
Yeah, Purdue I know is moving up. I saw that. I think Providence, Kansas started at 8. The books opened up at 8, which to me is unbelievable. Like that didn't make any sense to me. So I almost have to almost lean to the side of the books. It's like a weird spot. So we got some people in here. We got Turbo in here, like always. James is back. Yes, damn Texas Tech. Those guys, they shit the bed, dude. That was tough to watch.
It's 3 minutes left. They had the lead, and they just blow it. That's wild.
Central Time. I believe I'm the only Central Time gang guy in here, so love to see it, Tim. We got Jason in here as well. Brandon popping in. Everybody, I'm happy you guys were able to pop in at this impromptu time that we got here. James going right for it, man. He's just throwing out picks. I like to see that. We'll see if we agree or if we have a little bit of a different spot or different take on them, but yeah, it should be really good games today. I'm excited. I'm ready just to get right into it. Our first one of the day is that massive spread. Purdue versus St. Peter's. I'll let you start, Vmoney, and then we'll go to Monotone and then back to me if we want to do it that way. Then we'll switch it up. We'll do like the Uno reverse thing or whatever, spit it back.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, well, I'd need you guys to know first off, if you go on Google today and you type in National Peacock Day, it's today. It's today. St. Peter's, if they would have played yesterday, I'm on Purdue, but they're playing today. So you got to lean St. Peter's a little bit here. But on a serious note, I mean, we've talked about this game a couple times, and the size advantage for Purdue is obviously the biggest advantage in this game. Like Travion Williams, Zach Edey, these guys can eat. Jaden Ivey should eat too. St. Peter's hasn't played many teams that have the size advantage that Purdue has. I mean, Kentucky obviously is most similar to Purdue. And they did very well in that game. But what I look at is a Purdue team total over 73.5 or 74.5, whichever one you can get. I think that's the best bet in this game because if St. Peter's hangs around like I think they can, it's going to be a high-scoring game. I don't see this one being a 66-60 game. I see this be more in like 77-70 type game. So I really like Purdue and all the advantages they have in this one. St. Peter's, they've had an amazing run. They are the Cinderella. If this wasn't Peacock Day, it'd probably be a blowout, but I'm sure they're getting an extra little boost to their egos today all over social media and in their text messages. So I do lean St. Peter's on the 13 because that's way too large of a number in a Sweet 16 game. But I think my favorite bet and the best bet is Purdue's team total over today.
I like that a lot. And I mean, it feels like we get here every year, right? Everyone wants to root for the Cinderella story. I do too. I think all of us actually would be pretty happy if the Peacocks ended up winning this one. Sure. Except maybe PPS, who I know has Purdue going pretty far in those brackets. But
I have a Final Four ticket plus 400, and I have a champ ticket at plus like 18.
Wow.
So we had to show some love to the Big Ten a little bit. I seen Purdue right now is like minus 128 or something like that to make the Final Four. So cross the fingers. It's gonna be a sweaty one.
Yeah, but we get here every single year, and the public obviously likes the underdog. I'm just kind of wondering. I like that team total take a lot because we don't even have to make a commitment really on what side we're going. As long as St. Peter's can keep it relatively close, we know what that Purdue offense can do. We know they can put up points. I'm with you there. Thinking about the spread, I believe it opened around 10.5, and we've only seen it move towards Purdue. there's obviously a reason. You mentioned the height differential. We got Edie 7'4". We don't have anyone bigger than 6'7" on the St. Peter's squad. That's as big of a matchup as maybe you're going to find all season. So I want to support the Peacocks. It's their day. Like you said, quite literally, it's National Peacock Day. But I'm really curious, kind of, especially PPS, a big Purdue guy. Do you think they can keep it within 13? Because I think that's what the country wants right now. But I need to know if I should actually put my hard-earned dollars on it.
And this is tough for me, man. Like I'm on the team total as well. I had 73. The thing is when you've seen St. Peter's step up in competition this year, right? Kentucky obviously scored 79. Obviously went to overtime. Throw that one out the window. You can go to St. John's. They played St. John's early in this year. Those guys dropped 91 on these dudes because they sped them up, right? Purdue is so efficient. I said this, I think it was to you, Monotone, early in our first college basketball one like 2 weeks ago when everybody was saying Purdue is a little bit overrated, which I agree. They're a little bit overrated, but they're so efficient. They are just so efficient every time they get the ball. You don't really have many teams that can say, I'm at an NBA guard and I got an NBA big guy down there, and having Edie and Ivy. Ivy's better than every single other player on St. Peter's. We saw 91 from St. John's, 85 from Providence, and they're not even really well known for that offense, right? So we've seen that in step-ups. Even with Iona, they were giving up 85 in one of their games to Iona, and that's like the best in their conference, right? So I kind of have to lean the Purdue side. I think the team total is the best play. Like I said, I also really like that play as well. I got it earlier in the week. I think it was like 73 on one of my local ones. So that would be where I lean. I just don't see a way that St. Peter's is able to stop both Travion and Zach Edey. A lot of people who don't follow basketball that closely didn't know that Travion was an All-American, man. He was an All-American, dude. He's a beast. And he took this for the team, said Edey outperformed me and whatever they did off-season stuff, and Edey gets the starting spot. They both played pretty much the same amount of minutes. It's not like it's really the Edey show or the Travion show. But I'm looking at Travion Williams rebounds at 6.5, giving me plus 110 or plus 100. That number really sticks out to me, especially if we're going to see a Sheboy type outing split up into two guys here. Sheboy dropped a 30-piece, 16 boards. Now you have two guys that could do that.
Yeah. No, I like that look a lot. I feel like Travion Williams and Edey are going to just eat all game when it comes to the boards. Like, there's no one that should be able to contend with them when it comes to rebounding. And, when I looked at St. Peter's rebounding stats, I wasn't really blown away, to be honest with you. Like, Purdue ranks 13th and 33rd in the country when it comes to rebound, and St. Peter's is 64 and 198. So that's definitely a red flag today. And I was going to say I have a parlay I like. Money line parlays are the most dangerous thing in the world right now at this time of year. But if you like Purdue to win, like as most people should, and you like Miami tonight against Iowa State, you can get that at 125 on a money line parlay. So you're getting Miami discounted because I got Miami at 130 earlier in the week, and they're at 160 now. So obviously that's too hard to play by itself. But I think if you parlay with Purdue, you can get that in. Obviously, St. Peter's is plus 600 and plus 680. So, $15 wins 100 on them if you think they're going to upset on Peacock Day. So that's an easy hedge as well.
Yeah, I like that hedge spot. Also, St. Peter's cannot defend without fouling, man. They foul so much. Purdue gets to the line so much. They put so much pressure on you with Ivy. And guess what? They haven't shot well at all. They haven't shot well. Like from three, I think Stefanovic, I don't know what happened to him, but that man has become a bum lately. So if he decides to wake up now, this team can win the whole damn thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. Purdue's only hitting 30% in the last 3 games from three. So obviously not ideal for them, but they do chuck a ton of threes, and they get a lot of offensive rebounds. So yeah, I think we're all in agreement. Purdue's team total is a pretty good look, and if you can get a Travion Williams rebound prop, I ride with you on that one, Justin.
Yeah, going at 6.5 plus 100. Any thoughts on this one? I know you said it's Peacock Day. We're thinking about St. Peter's team total here.
Not afraid of it. I will say the under has hit 9 of the last 12 times in Purdue's games, but they've been like very, very close, like a point or two. Like they've been very sharp lines. And if I'm leaning Purdue's team total over, I would definitely lean St. Peter's team total over too. So for plus money, I like that.
Yeah, Purdue gets out to a quick lead. Definitely grab St. Peter's team total over. Right? They're going to have to speed up because they've been playing so slow lately.
Shoot a lot of threes today.
We got Keith, Kansas money line, Purdue money line. Does that mean women's?
I think so.
Or
Yeah.
women's might be the Texas money line, I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no idea what the line is for the Texas women's game. I'm sorry. I didn't check that before.
So I got I don't have a women's bet personally, but I got told a bet to place today. Corey Parson, who I work with a lot, we have battle of the bets, and I'm a 3-time champ now. I'm running it back for 4 straight wins today, and he took USC women minus 9.5. So I guess that's one of these sharper plays for the women's college basketball tournament.
Yeah, I did a lot of college baseball this morning, got a lot of those in. So now I'm ready to lock in baseball here. Purdue is too big inside. I 100% agree. Thank you, Quinn, for joining us. And I think we're pretty all in agreement here. I think we might get a little bit more difference when we get a little bit lower in this card. Montone, you want to start us off on this one with Kansas Providence? I know it's a weird one where the line's starting to come down a bit.
Yeah, so we talked about this one a lot kind of in our first show. We were at Providence is the luckiest team in the nation, right? That's what everyone keeps saying. And it looked like their luck continued because they're here now, obviously, in the biggest stage they've been on all year. We just saw 2 number 1 seeds fall yesterday. Kansas is the last one remaining. This will be an interesting one, right? Because my gut is really telling me that Providence can keep this close enough. Like we said, this is a pretty big spread. They play in this luck metric that everyone is referencing is pretty much just referencing their efficiency and how they do in those 1-score games, in those extremely close games. And they've been winning in close games. But even beyond that, they've been keeping games close. That's kind of the biggest thing we're looking at here. Kansas isn't necessarily known for lighting the world on fire on the offensive side of the ball, right? They're a very good defensive unit out there. I think this could be a good game. I'm really curious to hear what you guys have on this one. I don't know. I'm leaning Providence right now, but I think I could be talked either direction.
Well, let's go with Providence, buddy. I'm on the Friars today. I got them at plus 7.5. I actually like this a lot. The only thing that held me back from going harder on Providence today was on Kansas's best day. They are 7 points better than Providence. I will say that. Will we get Kansas on their best day today? I don't think so. We haven't seen Kansas on their best day in quite a long time, and that's been my issue with the Jayhawks. And while I would say, they got the 1 seed, I would probably peg them as a 2 seed in my opinion. I thought they're a little bit overrated as one of the 4 best teams in the country, but they still are here to this point. I like some of the players they have, but they play pretty quick tempo when it comes to offense and just in general, and they slow teams down on defense. That kind of goes into what Providence wants to do because Providence wants to slow this game down in general. They play slow offense, and they have a couple guys like Al Durham, Nate Watson that I feel like they can guard Kansas's bigs down low. And I think that's going to neutralize a lot in this game. And neither team is shooting super well. I mean, they're both like 30% teams from 3 in the last 3 and 5 games. But to be honest with you, I think Providence should hang around this game the whole time. I don't think Kansas is going to run away with this one and win by double digits. So I got Providence plus a 7.5. It's coming down to 7. I'd still play it there.
Yeah, I've just been seeing so many people in Providence. It scares me so much.
They're 8-1 ATS as underdogs this year.
I get it. I get it. And when I'm looking at it, I definitely agree that I thought this line was way too high. If it gets down to like 6.5, I will be playing Kansas. It's just what's really made me like Kansas now. Like I hated Kansas. I have Kansas in my brackets, like going out second round.
Yeah,
but it was because I didn't think they were deep enough to make a run. Like I don't think they had enough players. Now they have Remy Martin scoring double figures in 4 straight games. That man has been a revelation for these dudes. McCormick, if he wants to play, and I think he's going to come to play today because he's got to go up against Watson down low. If you get McCormick playing one of his vintage games, we might see like a 15-point type outing. I lean Kansas to win, obviously. I lean them to win and take it here. Obviously, you've seen what happened with the other ones. You got to think that they're going to come out and try to show that they deserve to be a 1 seed still because they have been hearing what Vaughn was saying, that they were a little bit overrated in the seeding part of it. I agree. I thought they should be a 2. I didn't think they would be there. I thought either like maybe your Kentucky or Tennessee would push up a spot or so. But man, it's hard for me to fade Bill Self in this. I take him over Cooley 100 times out of 100 times. And we saw what happened yesterday.
Don't disrespect my guy at Cooley.
I'm not disrespecting him. I'm not disrespecting Cooley. I'm hyping Bill Self. Same thing. It's the same thing as yesterday, though. And that's what's kind of nervous. That makes me nervous about leaning the North Carolina side is we saw it yesterday with the young coaches versus the old coaches. You seen the old coaches take them, right?
Yeah.
Duke took Texas Tech's guy.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. Adams, I think is his last name.
Chris Beard.
No, Beard's Texas, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I think they switched.
They switched, yeah.
And then they have
Mark Adams.
Yeah. And then they had Coach K, obviously, has been there a bit, right? So
and Kelvin Sampson got the best of Tommy Lloyd last night for Houston, too. We talked about that coaching edge. And I'll agree with you. There's definitely a coaching edge for Kansas here. There's no doubt about that. Kansas really scared me against TCU and then scared me again against Creighton. Like, they should have smacked Creighton and they didn't. Yeah. So, I'm a Jeanette Jayhawk, but I'm going to fade the Kansas Jayhawks, man. I'm not about that life today.
Yeah, this is more, like I said, this is more of a fade of what I'm seeing over like everywhere, just on like how many people are on them and everything there. But I do agree the line's off, but it's like Vegas has to make their money, and this line just kind of seems like a line where I should be throwing a hammer on Providence, and I'm like, it's just like Vegas is ripping me in half, you know?
Okay, so yeah, if the spread is kind of throwing us off a little bit, have either of you two looked into any props in this game that you think might be worth taking a look at? I know you mentioned McCormick just a little bit ago. I saw his rebounds is at 7.5 plus 100 too. So that was interesting.
That was where I was looking. I was also looking at his points. But I think that this line is going to move down for the total. I feel like more people are going to bet the Providence side to slow it down. Because if you're betting Providence, you think this game's going to be played in the mid 60s, low 70s, right? If you think Kansas is going to win, I think they speed this up, right? If you look at pace, Kansas is way, way up there, right? Compared, Providence is 283 in tempo. They're 32nd in offensive efficiency, 58 defense. But you go to Kansas, they're top 100. They're like 65 in the country in pace. So if you think Kansas wins, you probably lean over. You think Providence wins, you probably lean under. I think it's the exact same thing for the next game too.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. If this was a 144 or 145 line, I'm all over the under in this spot here. I don't know if there's much value at 141.5, but 100% still lean the under.
Perfect. Ben's bringing up how Providence got smacked in the tourney. I definitely think that they're a great team, right? I mean, I get the luck metric, I do, but like you still have to win the game, you know, like they still have to figure out a way to win. Jason, unfortunately, I don't have MGM right now, so I will have to wait and hope MGM lets everybody else follow them here. I'm going to get a 6.5 because, I think that hook definitely be important because this kind of just screams like that game's going to be right there.
Kansas shoots free throws pretty well. We saw Villanova pull away at the very end of the game last night because they hit 2 threes and they made their free throws, and we said that was the scary part about betting Michigan. Looked great until the final 1 or 2 minutes, so – if Kansas does cover, it's going to be because the final 1 or 2 minutes they make their free throws and hit a 3 or 2.
And not to get off topic before we get to UNC UCLA, but man, how good is that Houston game against Villanova going to be? Houston, if they foul like they did last night, Villanova might just shoot 50 free throws and make every single one. Number 1 team in the country in free throws. We've seen it happen last night. Man, this could be interesting. That game is going to be Jay Wright versus Sampson. Man, there's no coaching edge anywhere. It might be the best coach. You could say the best coach in the country after that game is the winner of that game, you know, because, man, those two coaches, they just find a way, man. They just find a way.
So before we move on then, what do each of you two open that spread at for that next game then, that Houston game? What do you open the spread at?
Did they already come out with the spread yet for it?
I have no clue.
I would –
probably.
I'll look right now, but honestly, I would probably make that like a 1 or 2 point spread, and I would probably make Houston the initial favorite. Although I think that it's a very close game, and with the over/under, I mean, I'd probably peg that in the 130s, probably like 133 to 135 range. So that's probably what I would be capped. I'd say Houston 1 to 2 point favorite, and then 133.5 or something on over/under.
Yeah, I don't know if they came out with the line, but if I had to pick a line, I think they're going to give Jay Wright the nod here on the favorite part. Maybe like 1 point Nova, maybe 2 point Nova.
They did release it
like that, but low 130s. It's got to be low 130s.
Houston, DraftKings and FanDuel, both have Houston as a 2 point favorite at minus 135 on the money line, and the over/under is 128.
Oh.
That's a very low total to be betting. Any total that's that low, I still lean the under when it comes to conference tournaments, championships, March, because it's going to be a grinded out field game, but that's a very, very low total. There's value on Villanova early right now, but I still think Houston can win that game.
Yeah, I just checked. Nova started at 2.5, so a little bit of love coming on that side.
How about Arkansas, 4-point dogs against Duke?
That's what I was thinking too. That's actually just what I was thinking right there.
Yeah, let's sprinkle the money line too, because we talked about it. Duke's the biggest liability at every sports book. Everybody in the world bet Coach K and Duke to win it all, go to the Final Four, yada yada. So I mean, they snuck away last night, but Arkansas, if they can beat Gonzaga, they could definitely beat Duke.
Yeah. The real question is, can we beat Node to foul out in that game? I would like a bet on that one right there, because the way they call these fouls against people playing against Duke, we better be careful. Okay.
That's true. Very true.
Well, let's go from the blue blood Duke to the next. The blue bloods going at each other tonight. We got UNC versus UCLA. This is probably my most look forward to game if I had to pick one. We can swing it back to Vaughn here to start us off. I'm sure I really want to hear your take on this one, because this is a, like I said, a blue blood game here. Can't really beat these two teams, and like fan wise, these are probably two of the biggest teams. You take their NBA players and write a list, it'll take you a while. You look at like how many Hall of Famers came from these guys. Like, this is huge. What is your thoughts here?
You got two top 20 offenses, two top 50 defenses. I mean, they both take care of the ball, they both take care of the ball, ranking top 60 in turnover percentage. I mean, this is going to be the game. Like, I was supposed to be at this game, and I'm super upset that I'm not. So when I went to buy tickets originally, they were $150, and then when the game got announced, they went up to $450 for nosebleeds. And I was like, well, I don't know about $450 for a nosebleed seat. Like, Steph Curry, LeBron James got to be out there, not UCLA or UNC. But this is going to be a terrific game in general. Like, I target the over right away, but with Jamie Yaquez questionable, he's going to play. I mean, might be a little banged up, maybe a little sore, but he's going to play. I like the over in the spot at 141, but to be honest, I lean UNC to win this game and upset. They've looked so good in the tournament. I know I have UCLA to make my Final Four, but I'm kind of fading my bracket at this point because nothing's worked out when it comes to the Sweet 16 and on. So I do like North Carolina in the spot, but my favorite bet is the team total over 69.5 at 70.5 as well. If this game is the pace that I believe it's going to be played at, I think both these teams will crush the 70-point mark and go over that. And I think North Carolina could be the winning team here. The one thing they don't do is they don't force many turnovers, which obviously you like to do that. But with the pace that they play at and how good UCLA can shoot, I think North Carolina's going to keep up with them all game. So I like UNC team total over 69.5, over 70.5, and I do lean them to get the dub here.
I mean,
any thoughts?
Yeah, I like you guys both said, I'm so excited for this game. Honestly, I've made 5 or 6 brackets. I have UCLA going to the Final Four in every single one of them. But like you said, that's kind of the only thing that's gone right in my bracket so far. It feels like it's time to fade the bracket. UNC is absolutely the kind of team you love here because they're not only hot at the right time of year, right? They're not only playing their best basketball at the right time of the year, but they also have players on their team that are taller than 6'7". You know what I mean? It's rare we get a team with like such elite recruiting, such elite raw talent that also ends up getting hot in March. So I want to bet UNC right here. I really do. It feels like it's going to be the real popular play of the day. And as someone that went down with the Texas Tech ship last night, I am a little bit scared to go back to the public well. But man, that defense is playing. It just seems like UNC is grinding on all cylinders right now, playing their best basketball of the season. I love UCLA. I like how both of these teams have multiple guys that can beat you. It's not like you can just zone in on one guy and you can win the game that way. Both of these guys have multiple guys that can step up. So I'm curious what PPS has to say. I'm leaning just like you, North Carolina right now. If maybe, some money comes back in on UCLA, then that'll be enough to get me to officially, lock it in. But I'm just excited.
Yeah, I mean, if you're leaning over, which I think most of us are in this game, you have to be leaning North Carolina here, right? You have to, right? North Carolina is an absolute buzzsaw right now on offense, 90+ in both games in the tournament, 90+ points. Obviously, one took overtime. I get it. But now we got Baycott. Dude, I love Caleb Love, man. And Manick's going to come out with a vengeance, man. That dude had 20+ and a half and then obviously kicked out. Imagine if they would have lost, man. I mean, he's the guy that pretty much caused that loss. They blew the 25-point lead, but Manek is that important, man. Coming from Oklahoma, man, he's probably the best top 5 transfer this year. What he's actually meant to the team. Like, there's a lot of transfers that didn't pan out. I mean, I'm looking at the Big Ten. There's quite a few of them that really just didn't pan out, where Manek just went in, slid right into their starting rotation, shooting the ball well. It's just, there's Tiger Campbell versus Love. There's going to be, depending on Jaquez, if he's going to be 100%. I don't think he's going to be. Maybe he only plays 25 minutes. It's just, this is going to be a tough one for UCLA here. I think that UNC plays it pretty quick. If they can take the pace, dude, I was looking at their offensive shooting numbers, and they're unbelievable. 20th in the country in free throws, 14th in offensive rebounding, 84th, right? 46% from 2, 37% from 3. They're scoring 79 a game. That team total is way too low on there. I get it. You got to show love to Cronin, getting some time. You got to show love to the experience edge. But Armando Bacot, I'm going to have to take his rebound prop tonight. I mean, I have to. I just don't think there's a way I can get away from it. I believe I just saw that plus money at 12.5. I'm going to hammer that. I do like the points too. I think it was like 15.5. It's just Cody Riley missing half the season this year, right? I mean, he missed quite a few games, and now you get big boy Bacot leading the NCAA in double doubles, and dude is grabbing 15 boards on the regular, man. It's I don't know how they stop him. I really don't know how they stop him, especially on the offensive rebounding glass, where they have, I don't remember the second guy. They have Cody Riley, and then they have another big guy, but neither one of them are anywhere close to Bacot's level. So I would lean the over here as well with UNC. Just, it's tough to – I like Mick Cronin. I do. I like him. And, again, this is that edge on the coaching side. How many points do you give Cronin versus Hubert Davis? But talent-wise, I'm leaning UNC all day.
Yeah, and I will throw out there UCLA in March has won 10 of their last 11 games. All right, so obviously the game that they lost last year was, national championship. They 8-3 ATS in that mark too. The only games that they didn't cover the spreads, they were an underdog in one, 13.5-point favorites in another, and 7.5 in another against USC. So in the month of March, UCLA has been a pretty efficient and dominant team, to be honest, the past 2 years, which is nothing. It's not surprising, obviously, but it's pretty hard to fade them. I'm skittish on betting North Carolina plus 2.5, but I do like that play. I think it's the best play if you're betting the spread or the total. But yeah, I mean, UCLA, you see the money lines already moving to 140 range and everything. And I think this is going to be a 152 by the end of the night, because unless you're betting North Carolina team total, or you're definitely they're going to win, like everybody is betting UCLA in the spot. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 55% spread handle on North Carolina, and then or spread bets, and then like the handle's like 75% on UCLA. Like everyone's betting bigger on UCLA tonight. So that's my assumption on the game.
Yeah, I was looking at the first half total. I think it was like 66 or something, 65.5. That was a spot I was looking at. Might be a spot I pulled the trigger. Both teams, 37 points per game first half on the season. I think it gives me enough in there. Especially if I do see this game as UNC knowing you got to jump out on these guys, because we've seen it in all these games where the slower paced team takes the lead. It kind of just burns it out. Obviously, first half's a little different, but we saw Houston yesterday. They're able to hold the ball, shoot it with 3 seconds left on the clock, hit the shot. You're pretty much screwed. They limit the game, but I think that UNC is going to have to come out and try to punch them in the mouth right away. And I think that they're going to be able to with the shooting. I mean, dude, they're shooting so well. They're shooting the exact opposite of Purdue. Everybody's making their shots. And like I said, I'm leaning Manek. I might have to take Manek points just for the revenge factor of that toss.
I like it.
We got Turbo. Anybody thoughts on this? 67 points for both teams, plus 100.
Yeah. North Carolina, UCLA. Like if those are the teams we're talking about still, yeah. I love that. That'd be my favorite two teams to score 67 plus points today. So yeah.
The only thing is, don't you hate it when they give you an uneven number? Doesn't it just feel a little bit suspicious somewhere in there? Like 67. How do you guys land on that one? You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah, that's a weird number. 65 plus would be the best number there for me. But yeah, 67 is cool. I like that, I might have to ride that too on DraftKings.
I do understand this one, but Manic was that important to him in the first half. So I understand the blown lead, but like you're missing one of your top dudes getting tossed in there. Oh, he's making an SGP.
Gotcha. Not a boost. Okay.
Smart man, Turbo.
That makes me less scared because if they were giving me
100%.
that by the book, it's gonna be 66 to 78 or something. So it's one off the over.
Cool. Yeah, I like that a lot. I'm about to do that. I haven't messed around with that too much. Same game parlays with team totals. But if you can do that, I mean, there's probably a lot of value in games like that. So I'm gonna check that out today.
And now going to the last one where we might not see either team hit 67, Miami versus Iowa State. Who wants to take the lead on this one?
Well, I can start us off right here. I've been told by multiple people I respect, right, to bet different sides of this game at different points of the week, right? At first, I'm hearing Iowa State's defense is going to overpower them. It's going to do a little bit too much. Miami's not used to that kind of pressure. And then on the counter argument, I'm hearing, well, Miami relies on that three-guard lineup. Their guard play is kind of their strength, and that may be Iowa State's weakness. So I'm kind of hearing smart people go different ways on this one, which is real interesting. I had neither of these teams making it this far. I was a big USC guy, LSU guy. Neither of those teams have made it to this point. I'm leaning Miami right now. I'm hearing some good things, but I'm really curious. I get to sit down with two guys like you guys who really know 10 times more than I do. So I'm real curious where we're going in this one.
I am in love with Miami in this spot. Like, I've been betting the Hurricanes all season, like outside of probably like Vermont and Duquesne. Those are like Miami would be my third most bet team all season. And I've done nothing but back them until they played USC. I actually faded them against USC because in my mind, that game did not match up well for Miami. And Miami did everything possible to come out and win that game. Like, they only turned the ball over 3 times. The next game, they turned the ball over 4 times. They went 1 of 14 from 3 against USC. They lost the rebounding battle by 12 against USC. And they still beat them because their guards are so efficient. They make their free throws. They're an athletic and offensive team. And you look at their offensive numbers, I mean, top 30 in efficiency, 2-point percentage, turnover percentage. Like, they do everything efficiently on offense. And that's hard to back. I know Iowa State is that defensive team that we've been impressed about. But when you look at Iowa State's offense, it's been atrocious. Like, we're talking about 24% from 3 in the last 5 games. We're talking about 62% from the free throw line in the past 5 games. You're talking about they played LSU and Wisconsin, 2 defensive-minded teams that like to play slow pace, and Wisconsin lost a guard in that game. We know it's like losing a guard in March Madness. So why Iowa State has been impressive they got to this point. Miami, I think, is clearly the better team. I played them on the money line at 130. Like I said, it's out to 160 now. That's a lot of juice to pay, but I don't think Miami loses this game. And if you just look at what they did to Auburn went 5 of 26 from 3 against Miami. So Iowa State better bring it today because the Hurricanes are not going to let anything slip by them, in my opinion. So I like the Hurricanes. And if you're betting the futures in this region, obviously Kansas has the easiest and best road to advance, in my opinion, at minus 180. That's a lot of juice. But Miami at plus 400 right now, I think has a lot of potential because if they beat Iowa State and say Providence beats Kansas, Miami is not going to be a very big underdog against Providence. That's a game they can win. So just keep that in mind right now if your future's better.
Yeah. No, I just like how many athletes they can throw at Iowa State here, right?
Oh,
We've seen Iowa State really only have to guard 1 or 2 guys in these first 2 games. Miami holding Auburn to 61 points was absolutely crazy to me. Seriously. I had the over, and Miami did all they could to try to help me, and then Auburn did nothing. Obviously, watching these guys shoot is just atrocious. And that's the thing is, Iowa State, I'm gonna say this. Obviously, I'm a Badger fan, so take this with a grain of salt. I think Iowa State got lucky from the 3-point line on a lot of their shots where they were not good shots. And if you look at their year numbers, right, 32% from 3, their offensive rebounding is trash. They're like bottom 30 in that. They're 67 points per game. It's just sloppy offense. They're holding the ball till 5 seconds in the shot clock and then doing a step back fadeaway. Like, that was what their offense was against the Badgers. Trust me, I watched the entire game, and it was awful to watch. It was like if I'm watching a good team beat someone like Arizona last night, yes, I had money on Arizona, but Houston was running extremely efficient offense, great defense. Like, that team won the game, right? Iowa State really pulled that out of their ass, dude, and it was hard to watch. And Miami here now playing their best ball of the season. You got 3 dudes to worry about. Isaiah Wong, I've been backing his player props all season. The dude is a wagon. And now we're seeing more start to come into his own here too.
And McGusty too.
I don't really know, dude, how Iowa State keeps up. I was looking at possible taking unders for Iowa State players here because I think that they're giving them way too much credit on some of these lines. Like I'm looking at some of these lines for points. I got to look at who it was. I looked at somebody this morning, and I think it was like Brockington maybe, that they had his points at like 17 or 18. I'm like, no chance. This team literally just took out Jabari Smith completely from the game.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me their number one is going to get 17 points on this defense?
I like
Hell
that.
no. Under 16 and a half points is going to be a play for me on that one. I missed the money line. I will be taking that under, though, for a player prop.
Yeah, I like that. If you miss the money line now, and it's obviously 160 is a lot. Like I said, if you think Purdue advances today, you could parlay that down to 125. But I would play the 3 on Miami at a smaller unit, probably like I did the money line at 1.5 units, and then I parlayed some stuff to try and win 2 to 2.5 units on Miami. So I would say that's the way I would approach it. Play a unit for the -3 or smaller than that, because I just don't think Iowa State matches up. I mean, we all hit it on the head here, but just looking at their numbers quickly, outside of the 200 in turnover percentage, effective field goal percentage, 3-pointers, free throws, and tempo. Like Iowa State just does not match up very well when it comes to playing against Miami, a team that plays much quicker and much more efficiently on offense. So, yeah, I'm in love with the Hurricanes. It's my favorite play tonight.
Yeah, the only thing was when I was thinking about it, because I faded them against USC too. I took Wong points, but I was off of them. These big guys, right? That's what's going to take Miami to beat Miami, right? If they're going to play up against like Purdue, I'm taking Purdue to just.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But Iowa State ain't got anybody like that to do that to them. So lean on Miami. I should have got in on it when it was like -1 earlier in the week and just missed it. So we'll take the props. Okay, guys. I don't think we got any other questions. Oh, we got picking Miami -3. Now you get the worst number though. You said, Vaughn, you still take -3?
Yeah, I would play for a small unit. That's insane to me that it opened up at +1. I didn't see that anywhere. I saw Miami won when I first looked, so I didn't even know they were the underdog, to be honest. That's a silly line. But, I like the +3. Like I said, I would play it for a unit or less. I love the money line. That's what I got the best value at. So,
yeah, it looks like we got another guy saying +1 on Miami is what it.
That's insane.
Good grab.
Yeah.
Good grab, my friend.
That's insane.
Good grab. Yeah, so while we're closing up shop here, what is your favorite bet of the day? I think we already know Vaughn's. I think me and Vaughn might be on the same one for that one, but I might switch mine up to the Miami one there. But what is your favorite play of the night, and which one are you looking forward to the most?
Are we starting with me?
Sure, we can go this way. Sure, we can go this way.
Okay. Well, this is hard for me, right? Because one, my ROI in college basketball has not been too great. I've never claimed to be a professional. We're sitting at about -13% so far through. But, we still got time to make it back. You guys talked me heavy into the Purdue team total over, so I don't want to take the thunder there. I'll be tailing that one. I think I've got to go with North Carolina. It just checks every box in me. I love UCLA. I really do. But it's just a combination of not only talent they have on this team, but it's March. You got to get hot at the right time. They're a well-coached team. I think they get the job done. So that's my favorite game and my favorite bet for today.
Yeah, I like it. I'll definitely be riding. I'd say Miami money line's my favorite for value-wise. I think the Purdue team total is the best value you're going to get right now. So I'd definitely be looking at that one. And I'm on Providence +7.5 down to 7. And then North Carolina team total over 69.5. Up to 70.5. I think they score 70+. And I liked that little 66 or 67+ points per game for each North Carolina UCLA parlay too. That was pretty sweet. So I might play around with some of those today and try and find something tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to probably more find the prop market. I missed a lot of the value on these plays where the juice kind of went a little bit too far for me. Like I said, I'll probably be rolling Travion Williams over 6.5 rebounds. Give me plus money on that. And I will be I just grabbed it right now at -105. Brockington for Iowa State's points under 16.5. I just think Miami's playing a little bit too well there. I think they're going to shut them down. We've seen the number one for both teams that they've played not do too hot. I believe Mobley didn't even score 15 on them.
Yeah, he did.
It's huge.
I looked at his player props, and he did not live up to the hype there. And I know we're talking college hoops, but I got the notification that Wendell Carter Jr. is going to be playing against the Kings tonight. Wendell Carter Jr. has been a double-double machine. He did not in his last game. So that's a prop I'm going to be looking at super hard tonight against the Kings front court.
Perfect. Well, we got a Mr. Birdman in the chat. I want you guys to – I believe Mr. Vaughn had a future that he wanted to talk about. I'm already on Purdue pretty heavy, Final Four in champ. So I don't have any more options there not going to hedge myself off on that. I'm going to roll with them. Do you have any, Vaughn, if you want to let Birdman know what you got there?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Final Four and the region winners right now. I mean, these are definitely tough. I mean, the best one value-wise is Miami. That's available right now, in my opinion, at plus 500. Like, I think that's still the best value because I think they'll beat Iowa State and they can beat Kansas or Providence. But if you're looking at the other region, I took UCLA to make the Final Four out of that region. I'm not feeling super confident in it. I think Purdue looking like the best team out of that region, which is shocking in my opinion. But yeah, so I'd look at Purdue or Miami unless you want to take Kansas and buy some juice down, but I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah, I like that Miami Final Four spot. I think that's sneakier to win the conference. I might have to get a little bit on that too, just because I want to support a Cinderella team, and it looks like we're all in agreement that St. Peter's isn't going to be the one.
It's so hard, man. This is the worst matchup you could possibly have. Like, this is the biggest team you're going to find, dude. Like, they literally walk out into they walk around, go to recruiting. If you're not 7 foot, you don't even get a look, dude. I swear to God. Yeah. Now you have Jaden Ivey on the same roster. It's so
since Birdman got UCLA already in his futures, I mean, he pretty much set himself up really good. Like, you could bet North Carolina today as an underdog and still make some money potentially. And then you have Purdue, who's only 125 right now. So if you just wanted to play Purdue minus 125 with that 10% boost, you probably get close to plus 100 money. And I mean, that's considered great value at this point because I think we're all in agreement the Boilermakers beat the Peacocks on National Peacock Day.
For sure. And Ben saying he's rolling with it. The Miami Purdue money line parlay. Let's go. I think I like both of those guys. Let's hope that Miami defense travels over to this Sweet 16 over there. So you guys got any other things you want to do, some shout outs or anything you guys want to do? We got about 2 minutes. We're trying to keep it in there under that 45-minute range going through these four. Anybody got any final thoughts, final words, final shout outs?
Yeah, man. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say shout out to you guys. That's all I got to say. Shout out to you guys, everyone watching. I mean, this was fun, and I know we're going to win some bets today. But, yeah, we should do this again probably tomorrow and Sunday, too, for the March Madness game. So, yeah, shout out to Stuart and Justin. You guys are the men.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no, I was just going to say appreciate having a guy like Vaughn and obviously PPS sit across from me all the time, man. It's really not something I take for granted. I don't watch these games. People come to me for advice, and I'm like, listen, these are the people you got to go to. Just to be able to sit down and pick your brains is obviously a privilege. I'm excited to win some bets today. I'm still doing NBA. I know a lot of you guys in the chat are still kind of college basketball only, but NBA has actually been going really well for me in the past couple of weeks, so I'm just looking to keep it going.
Yeah, no, I'm a little gun shy on the NBA right now. I'm gonna stick with college. College kicked my butt yesterday, but props did well, so hope I'm gonna stick a little bit more to the props tonight. NBA, I've just been blowout city, man. Every game I pick is blowout city, I swear. So happy to go into college games. Happy to see guys giving 100 every single time they're out there, like these college guys are trying to make a name. So thank you guys obviously for tuning in. Appreciate Vaughn for tuning in, popping on again 2 days in a row. We'll figure out a time and hopefully get out a tweet a little bit earlier. I know today we kind of figured it out a little bit later, but we'll get it out. Hopefully you guys will be tuning in. Saturday is going to be crazy. And I'm very, very excited to do another round with you guys, hoping to come in with a little better news than that Texas Tech BS that we saw last week. So, hopefully go Tar Heels, and I'm sorry for the Peacocks. If you're a Peacock fan, I'm hoping Travion just drops a big double-double on your guys' head tonight. So
yes, sir.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Pass the Prop again. We will talk again tomorrow, hopefully, and get you guys cashing some more bets. So best of luck on your bets and cash some tickets for us. So have a good one, guys. See you tomorrow.